2:21 time, Joseph Parker fighting on the 23rd of December. What a pleasure this is. Joseph, welcome back to the show, mate.
Oh, I am perfect. I'm great. Camp is going well, and I'm very pumped and excited for this fight coming up.
Man, you sound happy. Why so happy?
You know what? I'm just happy that the camp is great. I got Andy Lee looking over the boxing side of things. I got George Lockhart looking after the strength, conditioning, recovery, and the nutrition. And we had 2.5 weeks in Ireland. Great start to camp. Now we're in England for a week, and we've got 2 weeks in Saudi. So we're very close to fight day. But everything has gone smooth, and everything is on track. And I think this is the best camp so far.
How long have you in the past prepared for your major fights, like, say, the Joshua fight?
I prepared probably for that fight 10 to 12 weeks. But the difference is that fight I came in very heavy and out of shape, and I used camp as a way of getting in shape and eating good and training hard and losing weight instead of building on the fundamentals and skills and technique. Whereas now I come into camp always in shape, in great shape.
What specifically are you working on then for this fight?
We're working on, you know what? Believe it or not, working on more speed. We're working on more movement. We're working on being, just being alert and being there, present every second of every minute of every round. And we're practicing that in sparring. We're practicing that in training on the pads that we're doing with Andy Lee, on the bag. Even in the weights gym, we're practicing just being present and just enjoying the moment, enjoying the process, but always being alert every time I'm in the ring with sparring partners.
This guy is an awesome puncher. You know that. Everyone knows that. So, again, just in terms of the specifics, without giving too much away, how do you train for a guy that can knock you out with one punch?
Listen, he has to be on point for 1 second. Have to be on point for every second, every minute, every round. So you have to be, it's just about practicing being, like I said, being alert and also working on what we have to do. You know, if I go into the fight, when I go into the fight and execute the plan, everything is going to flow very nicely. But if I go in there and worried about his right hand and worried about what he's going to do, then all my attention is on him and his game plan. So I need to go in there and execute the game plan and be dominant and be present and give it everything.
In terms of the speed and the footwork, there has been a number of fights in the past where, and you'll know this, where I'm not saying you've let yourself down, but you would have been disappointed at the end of those fights that you didn't move quick enough, or that you probably left too much in there. How do you kind of absorb all of that in your own headspace and then use that positively to build towards a fight like this?
Listen, there's a lot of things in the past where I wish I could have changed. I could have done this differently. I could have done this better. But as we speak now, the camp that we have now with the people involved is, I think, is what I needed. It's definitely what I needed over the years, you know. But it's taken me 10, 11 years to get to this point where now I feel like the people involved and what I'm doing now is perfect. There's no overtraining. There's no undertraining. There's not doing too much and leaving it all in the gym, on the road, doing the weights. Everything is on track, and there's a reason why we do everything each day, the training that we're doing each day.
Do you, Joseph? Do you find that you get over intense at times like this, or how do you kind of relax yourself and get your mind away from it? Because you basically can be suffocated by a camp, can't you?
Listen, when it's time to work in the gym, it's time to work. When it's time to relax, I'm talking to my family. I'm watching Netflix. I'm eating the foods that I need to be eating. And I'm just outside of camp. There's always time to relax. And it's about, finding what works for you, playing an instrument, reading a book, chilling out. Just a lot of Netflix and a lot of chill.
You talk to your kids every night too. So, I mean, there must be, it's such a big deal being away from them, this far away from them. So, I mean, how does that go every night? Because that's morning for them.
Oh, listen, it's morning for them, it's night for me. And when it's morning for me, it's night for them. So I talk to them every morning and every night, just to give an update of how my day was and get an update of how their day was. And I think it's very important that the older the kids get, the harder it is for me to be away. There's an understanding now that I have to go away for work, but I got a very strong bond with my 4 girls and my wife that it's very hard to leave. And also, she's pregnant at the moment.
Wow!
So,
congratulations.
Listen, my wife is the best. She's a rock, and with her strength, staying home with 4 girls and doing it all her own. I a lot of credit to her.
It's almost like she's got a tougher job, do you think?
Bro, her job is way tougher than mine. I tell you this, like, I'm not saying fighting is easy and being in training camp is easy. It's not easy, but it's like a training holiday.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
I'm training to be in the best shape. I'm training to fight someone. I can rest when I want. I can eat. I have to eat the proper foods, but I can train, eat, relax, rest, chill. And she always has to be on point with the kids, you know, because you don't want to make sure that they're fine and they're fed and they're not in danger. And so it's a harder job being a parent, and respect to all the parents out there. It's a tough job, but it's the most rewarding job. It's the best job. Joseph
Parker is fighting December the 23rd in Riyadh. He's fighting Devontae Wilder. It's a hell of a fight. Did you ever think that you were going to get this fight? I mean, how long does it take to actually put this in place?
This fight, because the people that are involved behind the scenes, Saudi Arabia and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, when they came on board, this fight was made in 2 days. I think a day or 2 days. These types of fights and events take weeks or months to lock in and make with everyone involved. But this took like a week max, I think.
Is it scary at all? You know, is there any fear at all when you go into a fight like this?
I think if you have fear, you're in the wrong business and you're in the wrong game.
Right.
Going into a fight like this, obviously, the guy that I'm fighting has got a reputation of being a knockout artist. But when we go into fights as fighters, we know what we can do. We back ourselves 100%, and we go in to win. So there is no fear. The only thing is going into fights is a little nervous, like, oh, how is this going to go? You know, am I going to catch him with this? Is he going to catch me with that? But at the end of the day, there's no fear at all.
Do you do much visualization? Like, do you just sort of imagine and dream like you can see him on the canvas, anything like that?
100%. I think I've been taught that the mind is very strong, you know, and the mind works well with images. And my psychologist in the past, Kerry Evans, and also the people I'm working with now, Dave Wood, and a few others, that it's very important to imagine things and have images in your head of the fight going good, the fight not going so well, and what you're going to do in different situations. And it's all about preparing the mind for what's to come.
In terms of what Tyson Fury does for you, it gives you advice, being present, all of that kind of stuff. Talk us through that.
Yeah, Tyson has been very good to me and generous, and giving his gym and his house one of the camps, and also just giving us time. And he truly is like a brother, and he's made time for me to come here to England, and he's going to be there in the gym on Thursday and Friday to give advice, to help with sparring, and just having him around, being the only guy that's been in the ring with Wilder 3 times, beating him twice. He has a lot of knowledge and a lot of just things that I might not see, or Andy might not see, that he can share with us.
The great thing about Tyson Fury is, as well as being such an amazing champion, is just the awkwardness and the uniqueness of his style as well. Does he imprint that on you, and does he say things to you like, Joseph, you've got to bring something that might be a little different and actually surprise him?
Yeah, listen, when we do trainings together and when we do sparring together, he always gives advice where he can and when he can. Ultimately, Andy's looking after me, but with his style, it's going to be different for me fighting Wilder. I'm not 6'9" with the longest reach, so I have to take everything my strengths into play and use it according to what I can do. So, but he has a lot of advice on what I can do with Wilder on the inside, how Wilder fights, how hard he punches, and all of that, which is very good.
That reach advantage, Joshua had that reach advantage as well. It's awkward to face, isn't it? Do you have to kind of prepare yourself to think, okay, I'm going to have to get hit to get inside here?
Not so much get hit, but with the Joshua fight, I was fighting more a defensive fight. Whereas I think with taller fighters, it's good to be defensive, but you can use your offense as defense. So it's just about coming up with a game plan and practicing it on the sparring partners that you have in camp who are the same height, hopefully with the same reach. And if you can implement your plan on them, you can definitely do it in the fight.
Joseph, how hard is it to find guys like that to get in the ring and spar with, given the fact that, I mean, as you say, it's got to be a certain height, it's got to be, a certain size. I mean, are there enough of those guys around for you to spar with?
There are some guys, it's not the easiest task to look for them, but that's where your team, that's what they control. Guys like Andy Lee, he'll reach out and look out for guys who he thinks will be the best for me to spar. Tyson Fury will also do the same and give us suggestions on who he thinks will be great to spar. And then we see if they're available, we see if they're not injured. And if they are available and injury-free, fly them in, accommodate them, pay them, and they're going to give us the best work they can.
Awesome. Joseph, hold the line there, mate. Joseph Parker is with us fighting Deontay Wilder December the 23rd. In Saudi Arabia. We'll take a quick break here on the platform. Be right back.
Devlin.
Yeah, the next rule.
The platform.
It's Only Sport. Martin Devlin, Lachlan War. Podcast available. Highlights of this show right about 5:30 tonight. That is across Spotify, wherever you find your favourite podcast. We are back with our man JP, Joseph Parker, fighting Deontay Wilder. It's not the main card, but it's the second big fight, December the 23rd, Saudi Arabia. How much does the money come into it for you, and knowing that you're setting up your future for all your children and your family and everything? I mean, how much of a motivator is that aspect?
To be honest, the money side of things, it does come and it's great, but that wasn't really the motivation before. The motivation before was, I know I belong at the top, and I need a big fight to show that. And this is the fight, and obviously the money does come with it, but just the whole package together, this big fight, the money, having it at the end of the year, and then coming home with a great win and spend Christmas with my family, that is going to be the best.
When does it end, Joseph? Can you see the finish line in sight at some stage?
Yeah, listen, I'm 31 now, and I said I'm not going to go anywhere past 35. So I have said 30, early 30s before, but I think COVID did push that out a bit. So nothing past 35.
And is that something, again, that, this is your fourth fight this year, so does that take its toll as well? That's a lot of fights.
It is a lot of fights, but I tell you, when you're keeping in shape and when you're trained like this, listen, I've learned a lot in this last year working with this guy named George Lockhart about nutrition, about different phases of training, which these things I never even knew before in the past 10 or 11 years I've been fighting. So I feel like now as a fighter, I'm way fresher. I feel like everything is way better.
Like it's almost like you're reborn. You sort of rebirthed yourself. You're all kind of new again. Is that what it feels like?
That's what it feels like. It feels like I've only just started my career, but I'm starting at a great place and a good level, and it's time for me now to show this new work that I've been doing with the team that I have.
What happens if it doesn't go well, though, in Saudi and you lose this fight? What then?
I haven't really thought about that, to be honest. I've only thought about winning and smashing his face and then celebrating at home.
Wow. I mean, you got to work. This is what I always struggle to get my head around with Joseph. I mean, I love you to bits, mate. You go into a ring and your whole purpose is you got to smash this guy and knock him out, and he's trying to do that to you. I mean, we all sit there and we love watching this, but man, the difference between watching it and being a spectator and getting in that ring, it's just, look, it's like the Grand Canyon. You could never jump that jump.
Listen, it is. To be honest, if you didn't love boxing, and if you didn't love getting in the ring and fighting someone else who's also trying to knock you out, you wouldn't even be involved in this sport. But I love this stuff, and I think I was born for this, and I really am enjoying the whole process. I'm really enjoying the journey, and I am so excited for this. I can't wait.
Everything about you, you're such a super dude. You're so friendly. You're so relaxed. You're so chilled to be around, all of that kind of thing. And then you enter the political maelstrom where you go to Saudi Arabia and there's the sport washing and all of that talking about should you be there and should you be fighting there. Do you prepare for answers to questions like this?
I haven't prepared for any of them answers. The only thing is the event's in Saudi, and I booked a fight, and I'm going to be there just to go get my job done and then fly home and see my family. I haven't really prepared for any of those questions to be answered, to be honest.
Well, they will come. Do you have to think about it, or is that something for David to think about?
Oh, listen, that's something for David. Whoever wants to answer those questions, that they have the option to answer. But for me, I got a job to do, and that's what I'm really focused on.
And do you know anything about where Wilder is, who he's training with? Do you have spies in that camp, or any word on how he's going?
No, listen, he trains this. He's been a champion for a long time, so he knows how to prepare for a fight. He's got Malik Scott, who used to be a sparring partner, a training partner of mine. Malik Scott's his head coach now. I saw that Junior Farr was in camp with them, helping him with sparring. So I don't know too much about what they're doing, and I don't really want to know too much. All I know that he's going to turn up in great shape and put on his best performance, and I'm just worried about what I'm doing.
I think when he fought, I've got a couple more questions. I'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time, mate. You're always so generous with your time with us. He walked into the ring against Tyson Fury wearing some kind of crazy outfit that he reckoned weighed him down in the end. Can you remember that?
Yes, it was the first fight. Yes.
Crazy. So
it was the first fight with Wilder and Fury, and he said he was that his uniform was a bit too heavy.
That's it. And
maybe he'll come into another fight with a lighter uniform, and it really tired his legs out. I did read that somewhere. Yeah.
Are you expecting the same kind of sort of antics for this fight?
No, I think he's going to come in with a little lighter uniform. And I expect the best Deontay there is, and he's 38 now, so he's coming towards the end of his career, but he's still got a lot of pop and a lot of bang, and he showed that in his last fight, which was nearly a year ago.
When do you go into lockdown? When do you go into complete lockdown, mate?
I'm already in lockdown now. All I do is gym, home, shop, home, gym, home, and that's all I do. Every day, all day.
Well, it's only about 2 or 3 weeks away now. You sound like you're in a fantastic place, mate, and you sound like it is all going well. We just wish you all the best, Joseph. Go on and knock the bastard out, mate.
Yeah. Thank you, Martin. Let's do that.